In question 3, we're going to analyze the Keynesian model, but this time instead of analyzing the effect of an increase in government spending, we're going to analyze the effect of cutting taxes. The aggregate demand parameters have all been inserted into the spreadsheet that we used for problems 1 and 2. Same with the long-run production factors and the short-run production factors. Again, the Keynesian model has a slope of 0.00 because wages and prices are sticky in the short run, an assumption of Keynesian economics. I'm going to copy the intercept of the short-run supply curve into Cengage now and type in 0 for the slope of short-run aggregate supply. Potential GDP, 16.44. I'm going to copy that into Cengage now. And then the intercept of aggregate demand, 22.40. And then the slope of aggregate demand is the MPS, in this case 0.25, because it's equal to 1 minus the MPC. It's 0.25 plus 0.25, the MPM. So the slope of aggregate demand is 0.500. In the diagram below, the economy is again in a recessionary gap. Real GDP is less than what it should be, potential GDP. And potential GDP here is 16.44. Real GDP is only 14.90. So I'm going to type 14.900. The price level is the value of the short and aggregate supply curve because, again, short and aggregate supply has no slope. So the intercept of short and aggregate supply is the price level. It is 14.95. $1,000. The output gap is equal to the value of GDP, in this case $14.90 trillion, and potential GDP, which is $16.440 trillion. I'm going to copy that into Excel to compute that difference. So the output gap is negative $1.54 trillion. So the economy is in a recessionary gap because the gap is negative. Real GDP is less than what it should be. In this situation, the Keynesian school advocates for a cut in taxes and or an increase in government spending. So here's a graph that looks just like the one from the Excel spreadsheet. So this right here is going to be labeled long-run aggregate supply. This is going to be labeled short-run aggregate supply. This is going to be labeled aggregate demand. This axis is labeled PL for price level. It's in thousands of dollars. This axis is labeled Y, or real GDP, and it's in trillions of dollars. It can be shown that the tax cut multiplier in the AE simulation equals the MPC over the slope of aggregate demand. The tax cut multiplier in this model equals the tax cut multiplier in the AE simulation because the price level is held constant in both of these models when fiscal policy is being analyzed. So the multiplier equals 0.75 divided by 0.5. 0.5 is the slope of aggregate demand, and 0.75 is the MPC. So I'm going to copy this in Excel to compute it. So 0.75 divided by 0.5 is 1.5. If we divide the output gap in absolute value, which is 1.54, by the tax cut multiplier, which is 1.5, we get the value of a tax cut that is necessary to shift aggregate demand from this recessionary gap to that point where long-run aggregate supply and short aggregate supply intersect. So I'm going to copy this into Excel and we get 1.026667. To 3 decimals, it would be 1.027. So this is the value of the tax cut that is necessary to get the aggregate demand curve from here to there. To calculate the new intercept for the aggregate demand curve that results from the tax cut of 1.02667, I'm going to lower taxes by the amount we just computed. So 3.09 is the initial level of tax revenue. I'm going to lower it by that value there. Notice the aggregate demand curve shifted to the point where long-run aggregate supply and short-run aggregate supply intersect. So the new aggregate demand curve intercept is 23.170. The slope is still 0.500. Another way to get the new intercept is to add the product of the tax cut and the MPC. So I'm going to do that in Excel. Notice I've changed the tax revenue back to its initial value of $3.09 trillion. So down here, I'm going to multiply the tax cut of 1.02667 by the MPC, 0.75. And then add that to the old intercept of 22.400. And I get 23.17, which is what I got previously. To find the equilibrium after the tax cut of $1.02667 trillion, I have to find the intersection of short-run aggregate supply and aggregate demand, and then go straight down to GDP. So here GDP equals potential output, $16.44 trillion. The price level in equilibrium, again, is equal to the intercept of short-run aggregate supply, because short-run aggregate supply is perfectly inelastic. So the price level does not change. The output gap is 0 because real GDP now equals potential. So the output gap is 0. In the short run of the Keynesian model, aggregate demand and short-run aggregate supply can intersect at a point that is to the right of, or to the left of, or on long-run aggregate supply. Again, the Keynesian model is not concerned with the long run because we are all dead in the long run. The Keynesian model above concludes that the computed cut in tax revenue has no effect on the price level, raises GDP, and lowers unemployment because unemployment was high initially, greater than the natural rate, but equal to the natural rate at the new equilibrium. I'm going to check my work and we should get everything correct. And it looks like we got everything correct.